Hello guys, today I want to share with you my Stamina Nightblade build for the Greymoor patch. This is a very exciting and enjoyable build to play. I'll take you through the skill sets, etc, gameplay tips, all that jazz. But before I do that, I just want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to the mighty Core, who featured me in a recent video and has helped my channel see a big spike of growth over the past couple of days, so thank you Mighty Core, much appreciated. So, this build is a solo Stamina Nightblade build. It's fairly optimized. There's no great science to playing Stamina Nightblade. I think a lot of people who've played Stamina Nightblade for any period of time know the sort of general playstyle, what you're meant to be doing, where you're meant to be, who you're meant to be engaging. But the sort of efficiency that you can get out of optimizing your sets, because at the end of the day, what you want out of any successful build is you want to have enough burst to kill the targets, you want to have enough sustain so that you're not running out of juice, and you want to be survivable enough that you can get in and out of the fight without getting put in the ground. So this build, from playtesting numerous different sets, has achieved a very solid balance across all three factors. It's got incredible burst, really good sustain, and enough tankability that you can survive most fights, even head on, even if you're not able to stealth away. So let's begin as we normally do with the sets. So we are running on the front bar. We are running Stoons. Now, if you watch my Magicka Templar build, you'll know this set quite well. This is an incredibly powerful set. And similar to how Magicka Templar can set enemies off balance using toppling charge, the recent change to surprise attack when striking from behind guarantees an off balance proc. So this is an incredibly powerful set on Stamina Nightblade now. You can trigger it extremely reliably, and if you've ever used Spriggans on a Stamina Nightblade before, you know how much damage that adds. Well, this is 1.5 times as strong as Spriggan, so just for your burst window, this adds an incredible amount of damage, as you'll hopefully see in some clips later on as well. So we're running Stoons on the front bar with a greatsword on the front bar, Nirnhund, and I'll come on to why I'm running a greatsword and not a maul in a moment. But we're running a Nirnhund greatsword with the poison damage enchant, and then we are running Stoons Cuirass, heavy on the body. We are running Stoons Bracers, well fitted, medium, and we are running Stoons Boots, well fitted. And then, so that completes the 5-piece set, but we're actually running a total of 4 pieces on the body as well as the weapon, so that the 4-piece weapon damage is also active on our back bar. So we're also incorporating in a Stoons Infused Ring. The second set, as you've probably seen, is the Way of Air. Now, you might be looking at this and shaking your head, but bear with me, this is a bit of an overlooked set in my opinion. If you've spent any time farming Craglorn, if you've spent any time doing Skyreach runs, you'll have probably sold or deconned your way through a whole mountain of Way of the Air stuff. But it's a very effective backbar set for Stamina Nightblade, because when we roll dodge, and we roll dodge a lot, it gives us a nice boost to our weapon damage, which then transfers over to the front bar. This helps both with increasing the power of our Vigor tooltip and also the power of our burst as well. So we are running Way of Air on the back bar, so we're running 1 ring. We are running Guards, well fitted with Tristat, Belt, Impen with Tristat, and then a defending bow of the air with a weapon damage enchant. Just to show you what this does, so when we roll dodge, our arms start to go, and we get a nice boost to our weapon damage as well for a short duration, 6 seconds, but that's usually enough for you to get a powered up Vigor off, or to switch back to your greatsword bar and execute a big burst damage to take out a target. Our monster set is Balorg. Now, Balorg I've chatted about in numerous videos, but this is an incredibly powerful burst set, and it plays really well into Stamina Nightblade's hit and run playstyle. You know, you sustain for a period of time, and when you've got a window of opportunity, you want to turn around and drop a big in-cap burst combination, and Balorg plays perfectly into that. So we're running Balorg as a well-fitted medium helmet and heavy impen shoulders. And then the final set piece is one of the new mythic items, the Torque of Tonal Constancy. Now this thing is incredible on a Stamina Nightblade. It requires a slight change to your playstyle. You need to be quite conscious of how you're playing when you've got this thing equipped. But the stat density on this one piece alone is incredible. Stamina Nightblade makes great use of stamina recovery and magicka recovery because of the cloak. And this gives, in a single piece, effectively 900 combined recovery. The caveat is that you need to have your opposite stat below 50% to receive the recovery. So, for example, to get my stamina recovery, I need to have my magicka bar less than 50%. Now, when I go into the skills, I'll talk about how we've adjusted some things around to make this a bit easier to proc, but overall this is an incredible set, and if you play properly with this build, you will never run out of stamina or magicka. You will have just what you need when you need it. We've transmuted our torque to be swift, and we've got a weapon damage enchant. So just to go over all the sets again from the top: Greatsword, Nirnhorn, poison damage, defending weapon damage glyph, bow. And then on the body we are running 2 heavy, so that's chest and shoulders. We are running 1, 2, 3, 4 well fitted and 3 impen, and everything is tri-stat. And then we're running swift weapon damage, infused weapon damage, and infused weapon damage. Getting onto the character sheet, so we are running a Imperial on this build. Now I've tested numerous different numerous different races, including Wood Elf, Khajiit, Orc, even Redguard. My favourite so far has been Imperial, because we are also a Stage 3 Vampire. So Stage 3 Vampire increases our regular ability costs by 8%, which is very nicely offset by the Imperial's racial skills, which give us a decent chunk of health, a decent chunk of magicka, but also reduce the cost of our abilities and give us some tri-stat regen effectively whenever we're dealing direct damage. So my favourite build race here has definitely been Imperial, and Stage 3 Vampire combines really well with that. This is the front bar unbuffed. If you buff up, you can see that our weapon damage goes up to 5.1k. This is obviously without the weapon damage enchant and without Balorg as well. So we've got a decent amount of base weapon damage. And remember, we're also building very heavily into penetration on this build as well. So the combination of 5 to 6k weapon damage along with 15 to 20k physical pen is an absolute killer and can take out almost anything on the battlefield. Getting into our skills, on the front bar we are running Executioner, Ambush. Now this is somewhat up to personal preference. I really like Ambush because it lets you secure kills that otherwise you would have no business finishing off. Things like streaking magicka sorcerers who are panicking and running away, and other fast builds running Ring of the Wild Hunt, etc. And it also inflicts the enemy with minor vulnerability and gives you Empower, which shouldn't be underestimated. This definitely adds a great deal to your next burst attack. The other option here is if you don't like playing with Ambush, you can also run Camouflaged Hunter. This works very well in this slot as well, but my personal preference here is definitely Ambush. Surprise Attack is our main spammable. As you can see, the bottom paragraph there, attacking with surprise attack from the flank stuns the enemy and sets them off balance for stuns the enemy for 3 seconds and sets them off balance. And this is what we use to very reliably proc our stuns. Now, you need to be mindful of this. When it says attacking from the flank, it basically means anything that's not the front, so either the sides or from behind the opponent. So you want to consciously be trying to position yourself behind the opponent, because not only will that make it harder for them to target you because they have to turn their camera around to face you, but you're also continuously getting the trigger of this as well. Next skill is Relentless Focus. This is our burst attack effectively, so we build up our stacks with 5 light attacks and then we get the powerful Spectral Bow to fire off, which does a huge amount of damage. I've had this hit for over 20k before. Then we're running Rally for our Major Brutality and as a burst heal. Incap as our main CC. Now you can use this at 73 ultimate just when it becomes available for a quick bit of burst, or with Balorg if you're facing a tanky target you can let this go higher and higher and activate it when you've got more penetration and weapon damage built up with the Balorg. Very, very contextual, depends on what target you're facing. Getting onto the back bar, we are running Reaper's Mark. Now, people might be looking at this and shaking their head as well. Reaper's Mark is, again, a very highly underestimated skill. So, it doesn't cost anything, and it's fairly similar to how you would run Elemental Drain on a Magicka build. It inflicts the target with Major Breach, reducing their physical resistance. But the real juicy part here is the second part. When a marked enemy dies, you heal for a huge 16k, and you also get Major Berserk for 5 seconds. Now this doesn't need to be an enemy player. You can put this on, if you're fighting for example a Necromancer and they're throwing Blast Bones at you, pop one of these bad boys onto the Blast Bones, and when it hits you and explodes, you will heal for 16k health, and you will get a free 5 seconds of Major Berserk. This is very, very overlooked. Similarly, there's a lot of people running Engine Guardian at the moment. If you see one of those Engine Guardian procs go off, pop your Reaper's Mark onto it, and then just wait for it to go down. You'll get a big burst heal, and then you'll have 5 seconds of Major Berserk, which you can then use to kill the Engine Guardian's owner. We're not a ganker, we don't put this on before we engage. We use this mid-fight to increase our overall damage, and also to get this big burst heal, as well as the burst window with a Major Berserk as well. You can also run Venom Arrow here, but I would highly recommend trying Reaper's Mark if you haven't on Stamina Nightblade. It's very, very strong. Shadow Image is our mobility tool. It lets us kite around. Now we're running the Nightblade specific version of snare removal. We're running Phantasmal Escape. This effectively is Shuffle. If you just compare the two, they have essentially the exact same stats. Shuffle gives you slightly longer snare immunity, but Phantasmal Escape is very important because this serves as a Magicka dump for us. Remember, because of our torque, we want to keep our Magicka below 50% as much as we can. So if you're doing well in a fight, you're not really wanting to cast Cloak too much, but Phantasmal Escape lets you keep your Magicka below 50%, and as you can see, when that's the case, our stamina recovery jumps up to a huge amount. So very important to keep Phantasmal Escape there. Vigor is our heal over time. Shadowy Disguise, Cloak, obviously people know this if they've played Stamina Nightblade before. This lets us escape situations that other stamina builds won't be able to escape. And then on the back bar we're running Temporal Guard for the minor protection, as well as the small bubble that you get when you're blocking as well. Very useful skill. We cast this very seldom. It's more there just to provide some passive mitigation on the back bar. Getting into our champion points. We are running 56 Warlord, 9 Sprinter, 1 Siphoner, 75 Mooncalf, 43 Arcanist, 4 Tenacity, this gives us wind running, 56 Tumbling, 20 Shadow Ward, 6 Shade. We roll dodge a lot, and we've also got 3 or 4 pieces of well fitted on the body, so we can roll dodge back to back if need be without burning through our entire stamina bar. Very important. 7 Blessed, 19 Physical Weapon Expert, 20 Shattering Blows, and 81 Master at Arms. This unlocks Tactician, very important that you get this. 56 Precise, 38 Piercing, 49 Mighty. 56 Ironclad, 10 Spell Shield, 10 Medium Armor Focus, 41 Resistant. 43, 43, 37, 27 and 3. Always get your Unchained as well, don't forget this. Okay, let's see how this build does in action. I'm just going to commentate over some gameplay that I've captured. So we are approaching Fort Ailswell. The Reds have just broken through the outer door. I catch this guy by himself on his siege, on the siege line. He goes down pretty quickly. We are taking snipes, but we roll dodge, and the sniper gets set off balance with the Tactician passive, which lets us stun and burst him in a single global cooldown, and he goes down extremely quickly as well. Now we're surveying the battlefield on the inside. We've picked a target, approaching him from behind to ensure that we get our stun with the surprise attack. The Reds are starting to congregate on us, but we try and stay on our target and make sure that he goes down before we have to break away. Had a meteor, block it, keep on moving, go around. Now we've got a lot of attention here at the moment, so we will need to break away and line of sight into a tower and try and get a few people to follow us as opposed to the entire Zerg at once. Let's see, what have we got here? We've got some guy heavy attacking us with the lightning staff. Drop down to engage him. Remember, always go behind the target or to the side so that you can stun him with the surprise attack. He goes down very quickly. We're taking some more arrows over here. This guy goes into stealth, so I swap over to detect potion just to see where he's gone. Looks like he's dropped back down to the rest of the Reds there, so we drop down to follow him. Nightblade's the only class that can really do this. Nothing else lets you be quite so brazen and walk right into the middle of an enemy group, quite like Nightblade can. We're doing pretty well here, but then the Reds flip the flag, and lo and behold, we get hit with the load screen of death. Surprisingly, we actually are able to come out the load screen alive, but as you can see, there is a whole bunch of Reds here, and there's even some Joker in the back who's decided to set up a Lancer and firing that at me. Now, as much as I would like to run over and burn that Lancer, I think that would probably result in our death, so I decide to kite away down to another tower, try and break up our pursuers and see what we've got. So this guy is chasing us. He is a Magicka Dragonite from the look of things. Decently tanky, survives our initial burst really well. That Fossilize is really annoying to deal with on a roll build. And we've also got what appears to be a Stamina Nightblade as well, attacking us from stealth at the same time. So I need to be a bit careful here. I can't go too aggressive on the Magicka Dragonite. Another load screen. Awesome. Good performance, Sauce. Well done. Like I was saying, I can't go fully aggressive on the Magicka Dragonite because I'm not sure what kind of burst this Stamblade is packing. And I don't want to be caught with my pants down, so to speak. So I move out onto the ramparts. This guy is still following us. Set him off balance, try and do the same thing to him that we did to the sniper, but he's playing smart. He's blocking whenever we go in for the engage. We will need to take a couple of seconds to take this guy down, but the problem is whenever we start going offensive, we start taking hits from the Stamina Nightblade as well. Now, we are a stage 3 vampire, which means that we have a decent amount of effective health, because as our health drops down, our damage reduction goes up as well, so we can survive a couple of their hits, but at the same time, by that logic, we don't want to stand in the DK's fire dots for too long, because they will do extra damage to us as well. We've managed to split the two of them up, but I'm not really sure how to go about engaging here. I need to keep on using my Tri-Stat potion, so I don't have time to actually use the Detect potion. At this stage, I realise that the Reds have just taken this keep. There's probably a more interesting fight happening up on one of the resources. But before I go, I just want to give this annoying Nightblade a little goodbye present. So my Detect potion comes off cooldown, and we kiss the Nightblade goodbye, and then we are out of there. Quickly turn around to see if anyone's following. No one is, so we get onto our horse and ride up to one of the resources to try and fight the Reds on there. There's one guy who's already here on the mine. He's trying to take down the Mage Guard. We just very casually come up behind him and start surprise attacking him. And he goes down in due time as well. Now looking at the map, yeah, the Reds are definitely going to be coming here, so we pop into the tower, just wait a few moments for our first arrivals. We've got a fair few of them coming up the hill here. Now, as always, what I want to be doing here is I want to be revealing myself long enough to rile up a few of them, but I don't want the entire Zerg to congregate onto me. So it's a fine balance. You want to show yourself long enough that they know where you're going, and one or two aggressive people decide to follow you, but you don't want everyone to congregate on you at once. And that's exactly what happens here. We've got one sorcerer following us up here. We go up to the top floor, drop our shades down just as a sort of safe retreat spot in case we run into difficulties. This guy's not running much in the way of health, he's only got 20k health, so I decided to engage on him, but then the Magical Dragonite with the Fossilize is super annoying. I'm not sure if it's the same guy from inside the keep or not. Anyway, we start to engage on this guy, hit him with a couple of surprise attacks. We take our shade, this guy's by himself on the top floor, position ourselves behind him, and he goes down fairly quickly. The sorcerer that we were attacking below decides to follow us up. Again, position yourself behind him, get him with the surprise attack stun, and finish off with the executioner. The rest of the reds have dissipated, so we proceed to kill the rest of the resource guards and capture the resource. Now, unfortunately, Cyrodiil has been very, very laggy this weekend when I was trying to get some more clips for Stamina Nightblade. And Stamina Nightblade suffers a lot when it's laggy because you aren't able to get your light attack cancels off, you aren't able to get your dodge roll animation cancel off, and it feels really clunky to play. So instead I hopped into a battleground just to get some more footage showing the build in action. Same build, we've not really swapped anything around going from CP to no CP, it still works absolutely fine, your sustain is great. This guy almost goes down, I do a slightly silly dodge roll there off the side, but he does a sillier dodge roll off the side after me into one of the spinning blades, so he goes down as well. Now we just take a long arc around looking for someone else to engage on. We see a green running into the middle here, another green is following him, we engage onto him, attack him from behind, and our burst is extremely high. His buddy is trying to figure out what happened, and I am more than happy to demonstrate it to him as well. A green magic sorcerer comes around the corner, Pet Sork, he's got his Twilight up. We hit him with a couple of bursts, none of my light attacks are going off, so my burst is a bit limited. Instead, what I decided to do here is I put a Reaper's Mark onto the Twilight and get it low so that if I need a burst heal there I can finish it off and get my major berserk, but unfortunately the two greens that we killed before have respawned, so we just break away, don't get too greedy, and just sort of string them out a bit, get them to follow us. There's a red Nightblade over here as well. Our resources are running a bit low, but as you can see, whenever the resources do go below 50%, the torque just immediately brings them back up as well. Again, it's so good. I can't really overstate how good torque of total constancy is on a Stamina Nightblade. Just the amount of sustain that you can get off that one piece lets you build so much burst and so much survivability elsewhere in your build. It's honestly a pleasure to play with the torque on the Stamblade dispatch. We are sort of just skirmishing here. I don't know where our teammates are. The reds are fighting the greens here, and we're sort of picking people off whenever we get the opportunity. This fight breaks out over here, but once again we use our movement speed and our cloak to split up the fighters, get this one guy by himself, try and get behind him, roll dodge through, surprise attack. He's very low on health and he's going to fall to these executes. Go back in on the engage, our teammates have arrived and they are fighting and doing not too bad. Managed to take one green guy out. I give the hand with this guy, and a red as well. I do enjoy battlegrounds. I mean, they're good fun. You get constant fighting. It just lacks some of the sort of tactics and mind games that you get in open world Cyrodiil. You know, it's very non-stop. It's like an arcade game, you know. And even if you do manage to kill them, they're back straight away. So it's less than satisfying. I took a nasty burst there. I think I get hit with two snipes at once, but we managed to just about survive, and we're able to break away and recover from that. This guy's low, we get behind him, and you can guess what happens next. This sniper is here. We managed to engage onto him, but once again my light attacks are not animating, so we aren't quite able to secure the kill there, and my detect potion isn't off cooldown just now, so I have to let him get away. These two reds seem to be standing here a wee bit aimlessly, so we come in and say hi. managed to get that guy down really quickly. Just on the back of that last kill, I just want to say it's really important to get comfortable with your animation cancels when you're playing a Stamina Nightblade. You want to be able to cancel your surprise attacks into dodge rolls or into executioners, because not only will that put you behind the opponent and continue to let you pressure them with your stuns from the surprise attack, it also protects you from damage from ranged teammates like casters and things like that. I've just sped up this portion, nothing too exciting happening here. We're just looking for a good target. This guy, I'm not sure what he's doing. We just very quickly finish him off. And we join up with the rest of our teammates here. There's a red in the Necromancer clown form over here. We get up behind him and stun him with a surprise attack. He goes down pretty quickly. The greens are all congregated here. We are able to ambush into that and take out this Magsork. If you're fast, you can get away with crazy shenanigans like this. He had 3 teammates there who by all means should have protected him, but if you can be bold, get in, get your burst and get out, you can kill people in the middle of their teammates. This sniper is just doing his things. He goes into stealth and we're just like attacking the air. Take out his teammate. Yeah. Unfortunately, recently the performance in Cyrodiil has been less than optimal, especially on the weekend, so I've had to look to other means to bring you the clips I need to illustrate my builds. Battlegrounds are a good laugh. I can't play too many of them though, I do get bored, and at the moment the no CP meta seems to be very, very proc set heavy. These guys drop a Storm Macro but then decide not to fight around it, which is not the smartest thing. But obviously we don't want to go into that Storm Macro's area of influence, so we pick these guys off as they're far away from the rest of their teammates. Remember, keep yourself alive first, don't get too greedy for kills. You can't kill anyone if you're dead. And there's always time to re-engage back. Coming to the middle of here. This guy can't deal with our burst. And we managed to catch the sniper while our detect potion is off cooldown, so he is a very easy kill as well. Get behind the Magsork, lay a couple of attacks into him, stun him with a surprise attack, and execute him as well. So we run around looking for another fight. This battleground is nearly over. Our teammates are engaging a red over here. We go in for the assist. Lay some damage into him, and he goes down pretty quickly. And I do believe that is the end. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment down below, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.